Hi guys, namaste. So I wanted to talk today about projection because I have been projecting a lot recently. And I learned about projecting like when I was younger, because I was I was an angry kid and just hurting and stuff like that. And I didn't realize that a lot of like what I was doing was projection and like reaching out. Like I was trying to reach out for love and attention ultimately. And so, I'm not going to like mention names or anything like that or the situation just because I don't know who pays attention to this and who's involved in my life. And I'm really not trying to, bring them into it and stuff like that. But just like for an instance, I had a situation come into my life, a friend of mine who I wouldn't say like wronged me in some way. This person just did not know who they were. And I think I had this expectation or this image of who they were I think it was a little bit of both, like the mixture of an expectation and this image of who they are as a person. Cause it was also how they like projected themselves. And then realizing recently that that they're not like that they shouldn't be like that they're just not like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But now it's like, certain situations have happened that have led me into the position that I'm at, and I've been like very angry and pissed off with them, but realizing that really it just all reverts back. It's a huge circle, and I'm just projecting because I'm really mad at myself because I feel like I should have known better. And there were like really clear signs and certain things that like I wish I had paid attention to more. And also I'm human, and I also really am very hopeful for a lot of people, and it does not make them a bad person by any means. I just wouldn't have put myself in certain situations if I had really been paying attention to these clear fucking signs. But that's like something that I want to talk about because I know that there's a lot of times that like my anger and control or things like that, it's really just a projection of what I have this expectation of towards somebody. And I need to worry about me, just like you need to worry about you, and the person next to you needs to worry about themselves. And like I've been saying, and I do say, like, worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Because, like something that I've like really noticed and something that I've really been trying to do, especially recently, is like anytime that I get mad or angry or have these expectations and control towards wanting to control something, whether it be a person, an experience, or what have you, I immediately look at myself and I ask myself why. Because a lot of times, like a lot of what that stems those feelings towards that person, experience, or what have you, is something within, whether it be an experience or something that you feel towards yourself. And it's so much easier to blame someone else than to really take acceptance and look within. And I think that that's especially with a lot of us in addiction and things like that. That's what we want to do. We don't want to think or feel like it's us. Take accountability for the fact that like you're freaking human. Like you're human. I'm never going to be perfect. My idolized perfectionist personality that I have for myself I'm never going to live up to that. Because it's constantly changing, like reality, and because reality is like null and void. Like because my reality is different than your reality, and like your reality to even watching this is different than how I'm wanting to portray it or project it. I don't know. I'm just rambling, but I wanted to talk about projection because I think that a lot of us in the world, that's what we do. I see it everywhere. I see it in dating. I see it at work. I just see it everywhere. And I feel like we all need to take a little bit more accountability for who we are and realize and just accept that like you're human and that we all have our own faults. Like I was not nice to this person. I was like projecting so bad, like just yelling and screaming. Like I couldn't even talk to them. And then realizing like, holy shit, like it's really just about the fact that I'm just mad at myself because I feel like I should have known better. But I'm a human, I'm a person, I'm just like anybody else, and doesn't mean that like they got away with anything or that they like blindsided me and this, that, and the other. It's just, it is what it is. Like, I ignored it for a reason, and part of it was for this experience and for me to learn from it and to grow from it. And in like Buddhism, like the Dalai Lama had spoke about, there's like several different types of learning, but like to hear, to understand is different, because you need to have the experience, be able to absorb within you in order for you to fully like grasp. Because we all hear things and hear, you know, like you can hear what I'm saying, but if you've never actually had an experience where you've projected something towards somebody else, like you're never going to fully like have it absorb into your soul, the understanding that like in order to change it. And that's something that I'm like realizing too, like because I have been thinking a lot about like comprehension with people, with just being human, because in Buddhism we're taught that like you are divine, like you don't need to identify by anything other than that, like you are just divine. We are all, I'm no better than you, you're no better than me, like we are all created equal. But I have a hard time with that sometimes, because I know that like I'll be speaking on something or saying something and that other person is not comprehending. But it's also part because they have not had that experience, that understanding. Like, so they're just listening. That's their hearing. That's where they're learning. So just realizing little things like that. She just loves herself. But I'm really realizing that I need to pay attention to myself. Like, I have not been paying attention to myself, and I preach like self-love and self-care, and I've been like trying to do little things, but I have gotten myself absolved into a relationship and a person, and not that it's unhealthy, but realizing now that like, all right, it's time for me just to take a step back, and put me first. Like I've even made my vision board, and that's like the first thing that I put on there was a huge #1 for me. Like I need to put myself first, and really need to start practicing what I preach, because it's important that we all like pay attention to what I'm doing. Like I have to be mindful and aware of the things that I have control over, which is not a lot and not everything, but generally has to do with just me. So I've, really trying to work on that, and I'm kind of proud of myself today, because I made sure that like I made time for myself and wasn't just doing it because I had to, but because I actually wanted to, and getting back to like putting myself first and really just like loving myself. And then that way, like as I'm filling my cup, I'm able to like fill others. So, and that's really all for me, guys. I hope that you guys continue to watch. I'm still sober. And still down this journey. I have gone to a couple meetings since I've like spoken the last one, saying that I was like stepping out a little bit, and I plan on still going. I just want to be able to like go when I would like to. And that's really all for me, guys. So namaste sober, and I hope you do too.